Hello, welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of On the Knuckle. We are here in Copper Mountain, ready for the Copper Halfpipe review. I'm Gaz Vestman-Vogan. Obviously got Mr. Adam Begsy alongside. Begsy, how's it going?
Good. We are, because we're sitting next to each other, we're just freshly back from snowboarding. We got out for first lifts today after a good finals day yesterday, and it's a little bit snowy, a little bit flat light outside, but snowboarding was still fun.
Yeah. And we had early access, and one of my favorite bits is getting on at 8:30 when everyone else starts to queue up for the Weekend Warriors, and we get like 3 laps in and just get to snake the queue every time. But that's just me being smug and kind of abusing the power.
Totally. Being a Saturday, we managed to get in front of all the people and got a bunch of riding in before it got busy. So stoked.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Nice, easy Saturday before we head back to our respective corners of the world for Christmas. Let's go. Olympic excitometer. What's your level at? You still kind of cruising around that kind of average plus?
Every time we bang another compound, it goes up. So this one, I think I'm about an 8.5 after a solid day of halfpipe yesterday.
Sick. I think I'm up to about a 7.5. I realized the last few excitometers haven't actually been based around my excitement for the Olympics. It's basically just been evaluating my current mood levels. So I think for this one, first time judging pipe this season. It was really cool to get back into pipe after 3 weeks of big air. So I'm excited for how it goes down. And we just see the standard just kind of just creeps up as we get closer towards it. So yeah, 7.5 of that. I'm at an 11 out of 10 in terms of going home tomorrow. So been a long 4 weeks on the road.
Yeah, excited for a little break over Christmas and see my wife and kids.
5 days off before I fly back across for Calgary. But anyway, we'll get to that next very shortly. So into Copper Halfpipe. All right, so here in Copper, this is back-to-back with the Secret Garden event in China. So we had all the athletes a lot of the athletes fly halfway around the world to pick up for the second World Cup of the season, his second halfpipe World Cup of the season. How do you reckon this stunt ditch compares to China?
It's different. It always is. It's on the other side of the world for a start, but Copper, they put a lot of work in over summer. They lengthened the dirt, so they've made it a little bit longer, a little bit bigger in the actual dirt works. Less snow to blow, which was good considering it's a little low tide out there at the moment. It was the first cut for the season. They basically finished it the day we arrived from Steamboat. So we watched them putting the finishing touches on and open it that afternoon. Every day it got better. So it was probably the best early season pipe they've had here in the last couple of years that I've been coming. Usually there's a little bit of a kink between the flat bottom and the transition in this one. That wasn't there this time. It was quite a good dish. And each cut, they kind of kept making that dish deeper and deeper. So it was riding well. The riders could trust the walls. There was a few little kinks on the top deck, but they managed to get the sort of ones out of the wall. So by the time finals hit, the pipe was riding really well for the big show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was pretty happy with it, to be honest. I didn't ride it. I was just pretty happy watching it. And we had quite a sizable field in both women's and men's. I think women's, we had 38. So we already said in the last episode, we had 32 in Secret Garden. This time we're up to 38. So that meant we had to actually split it into 2 heats, which is awesome for the sport to see that many numbers kind of coming through in women's pipe. Not as awesome for the judging because we had to dip into double up.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the amount of daylight, the number of competitors forced us into double up. But I think something we spoke about in the last episode, if we go to double up, we'd like to take more people in or have a semis. And luckily enough, in this one, we took a few extra people in.
Yeah, because the original plan was a 10-man, 8-women final, 3-run final, best run counts. General consensus from the whole community of coaches and athletes in the room, etc., was more riders, less runs. So we actually took 14 men, 10 women, and only had a 2-run final. So worked out kind of nicer from the double up. And spoiler alert, our winner kind of came from one of those extra spots that got given to finals. But we'll get to that when we get through 2 of the men's. So our original plan with the double up, we were going to have almost a women's panel and a men's panel of judges. So you'd have the same panel doing both heats. We then actually had to switch that because the weather was kind of coming in and it seemed more consistent to run the 2 heats of women at the same time and the 2 heats of men at the same time. So that was almost a good plan, but then it failed the night before when the weather forecast got read out.
Yeah, and we changed it up. But what it did do, it saved us an hour of the extra training block that we would have had we not done double up. So that's a lot of extra time in the day when you're looking at it getting shadowy and a bit shady in there after 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and especially with the wind kind of coming in. So into women's qualification.
So just out for this one, we had Ruki Tomita. So in heat one, she was pretty much clear cut. It was unanimous from all the judges. She was around the bubble actually in Secret Garden as well. She was just in. This one, she was just out, and Maddie Schifrick was just in.
And it was kind of the reason Rookie was out was almost a very good run right to the end. Went front nine on the last hit, but two hands down. So we just had to pull it down a little bit. And then the cab seven just before that front nine was a tiny bit under rotated, kind of slid the last part of the rotation in. So difficulty was there, had good amplitude or good consistent amplitude, but just, lacked the execution on those final couple of hits. It was pretty close separator. Maddie Shiverick had the variety because she gets 6 directions in because it's all 4 directions plus the 2 alley-oops. Her amplitude wasn't as good as Rookie, but execution was on point all the way through. So, it was not the tightest call, but we're pretty happy with how that kind of bubble sat.
Yeah, and it definitely softens the cut when you take a few extras in. And in this one, it was, like I said, it was clear cut. And so it was good to have those extra 2 ladies going to the finals.
So first one out behind Rookie Tomita, also second one out in heat one was Huge Sun from China. Put together a pretty decent run. Sadly, the amplitude wasn't huge. And she put a hand down and had a little bit of an edge on the front 5 tail kind of last hit. So it was just execution and amplitude with kind of the crucial things there for Huge. And then on to heat 2.
It was Isabel Lecter from Switzerland who was just out, and it was a bit of a step up to Tonton Shitong Kai from China who made the cut. Good execution for her one. So she's been doing that run she's been on the tour for a while. She's been doing a similar sort of run, and she's got it dialed.
Yeah, pretty solid execution top to bottom, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. So on to the finals.
Cool. So I guess a few mentions here. Well, unfortunately, Chloe Kim went out in training with a big crash and she was unable to start. So we wish her a speedy recovery and hope she's back competing before the Olympics. We're really looking forward to seeing her and Gayon go head-to-head in this one.
Yeah, because we'd watched Chloe all through training. She was doing the cabbed up 10s into the front 9s, etc. So it was building the Chloe combos that we've got so used to over the years. And then I think, the crash just came down on the front 9, landed all right, and then just almost got sucked out by the compression of the transition and just went a bit chest heavy. And so, hopefully speedy recovery because we would love to see a Chloe Gayon showdown.
Totally. It'd be nice to have her back for the next Grand Prix announcement.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. And then other noticeable mention, Sarana Ohashi, one of the new Japanese crew, which we're always excited to see ride. And we talked about it a little bit in the Secret Garden pod. Also withdrew from finals, just picked up a bit of an injury in training. So wishing her a speedy recovery as well.
Totally. Speaking of injuries, Maddie Maestro was also nursing an injury. She only did one run during qualies. She was nursing her ankle and rode quite conservatively during training, just looking after herself. She was actually able to put down a run for 6th place in finals, which was really good. Yeah,
that was very, very cool to see. Would love to see her back riding at Maddie level. Hopefully a little bit of a break before the next couple of World Cups might just give her a bit of a chance because, she's definitely up there for sure.
Totally. Good to see her get one down, and like you say, it'd be nice. She's got a result now, but it'd be nice to have her back to full capacity by the time we're back in America.
Yeah, next Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. Sweet. So then kind of any noticeable mentions outside of the injury squad from finals?
Maddie Schifrick back again. So the Americans weren't in China, so they had the advantage here of not doing that back-to-back schedule, not coming in jet lagged. They were all fresh for this event, and there was quite a number of Americans, but she put down a nice first run with good variety. It earned her 5th place. Unfortunately, on her second run, she went down heavy on her back 9. So again, hopefully she's good to go in the next event.
She did. It was first at run 1, she did back 5, and then run 2, tried to step it to back 9, basically set it for a back 12. Absolutely chucked it, came down really hard. So hopefully she bounces back pretty smooth as well. So hopefully it's nothing too major, but that was props for a back 12 set.
Good start to the season for her. So it takes us into 4th. In 4th place, we had Tonton. Yeah, we spoke about her just before. Good run. Air to fakie, cab 7, front 9 Indy, into back 5 and an alley-oop.
Yeah, and then a method, extra. So kind of, because she managed to squeeze 6 hits in, kind of showcases the amplitude sort of level when we get to compare to our podium athletes. Bea had pretty solid execution, except for the front 9 was kind of a little bit squiggly. Execution was down again. And then the only other thing is she's only really got 3.5 directions.
Yeah, that was the notes I had. She was lacking some of the bigger tricks and difficulty, some variety, but no switch backside. Had the alley-oop, but technically it's only 3.5 directions.
Yeah, so she was just off the podium, but again, good result, I would say, going into this, into Olympics.
Yeah, in third place, we had another American, B. Kim.
Yeah. If you're going to be anyone, be a Kim.
And she really got the job done on this one. On run 2, after a fall on run 1, she came out and upped her first hit, which she went switchback 5 on run 1. Second run, with no run on the board or no safety run down, she just went switchback 9, which was super progressive and risky. And then, kept it going down the pipe into cab 7, front 5 tail, back 5 mute into front 7 Indy. Yeah, first podium for her, and kind of came out of nowhere with a hugely technical progressive run.
Yeah, it was an interesting tactical decision to go improve the run when you haven't landed the run, because usually you get the safety run down and then one up it. But very cool to see. Yeah, the switchback 9. A little bit of a short grab on it. Like the grab was there, it just wasn't held all the way through the rotation. That's my kind of only note on that one. But yeah, progressive, had all 4 directions. Amplitude was decent and consistent. So I think the only thing that was keeping her from a little bit further up was just kind of the difficulty from the rest of the tricks. And I guess some of those shorter grabs, which we didn't see from whoever was in second.
Totally. So, that got the job done for her. She's good start to the season for her, really, for that American qualification. So maybe that was it and why she went all in on that second run, because these American Grand Prix are what they use for their qualifying. So it puts her in good stead.
Yeah, for a spot.
Yeah, for a spot. And
at the O Show.
Cool. I think, like you said, it was lacking some of the difficulty, and it was quite a step up to second, where we had Sina Tomita from Japan. And but a couple of the Japanese riders, her and Rise, there's Sarah Shimizu, they're really good grabbers. Their execution's there. They grab their tricks completely. And that was one of the things that set her apart. She had good amp, good trick combination. Yeah, good grabs, really. So she had front 9 melon, back 5 mute, front 7 Indy, cab 7 mute into a front 10 tail.
Yeah, and the front 10 really added the difficulty to the run. That's kind of what we were almost missing from Bea's run down in third, was that kind of step up in difficulty. Yeah, she had the switchback 9, but yeah, Sina had front 9 and front 10 in there. The bit that was kind of keeping her away from top spot is missing switchback side direction. So at least with the 3 frontside tricks does change the grab, because it's front 9 melon, front 7 Indy, front 10 tail. So there is a little bit of grab variety there. But when top placed athlete does all 4 directions with good variety and good execution, that's the sticking point there.
Totally. And it's more comparing her to B. Kim in that one, I think. And she had more difficulty in terms of rotation. She had the cab 7 to 7-10 combo at the end compared to a 5-5-7 combo from B. Kim. So just the difficulty was there. But yeah, like you said, lacking a switchback side rotation, but had the difficulty in the front 10.
Yeah.
And then another massive step up to our winner for this one, making it back-to-back this season and really coming out firing this season. And boy, was this a run from Gaeon Choi from Korea.
Yeah. Like I think I said it last time, we're into the Gaeon era, because switchback 9, huge amplitude, grab, held there through the rotation, cab 7 drunk driver, front 9 melon, back 9 stale, front 7 Indy. So straight away, first 4 tricks, all different directions, grabs are nice and mixed up. Yeah.
Massive, perfect cab 7 drunk too.
Yeah, that was
into the 9-9 combo. So.
And amplitude. I have my own amplitude scale. It's called the Gaz scale, but I had a +4 for that cab 7 out of 5. So that kind of showcases how good the amplitude was. Super consistent all the way through. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, really.
No, good grabs, good execution, super progressive run with the switch backside at the start. Amp was big. The variety box was ticked with all 4 directions. Difficulty was there, and it was definitely the hardest continuous down the pipe combo of the day. So she pretty much ticked every single box there and won it.
And she made life difficult for herself, because she had a really heavy edge after the front 7 on run 1. So didn't have a good score, so left it to run 2 and pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah, that's good.
It was nice, simple judging. On to the men's, where it gets less simple because it gets a bit more complex.
Totally. So in Heat 1, just out was Kaishu Hirano.
Yeah, and he was first one out, a little edgy on the cab dub 10 at the end, and on the back 9 as well. So it came down to execution. When you're only taking 7 through, execution was kind of the key thing for those top 7 that all nailed it, but started beautifully with a very typical Kaishu McTwist. It is the Nellen grab rather than a melon or a nose, and it's intriguing that that's usually our illegal grab spot, but I think the way it's executed with the tweak and the extension, etc., kind of almost looks a bit Euro methody rather than it being an illegal grab, as it were. So starts off the run very nice with that, but then, just lacks the execution towards the end.
Yeah, and that heat was actually pretty clear cut, which I think by taking a few extra men in, we always say it softens the cut and makes it a little bit clearer. So in that one, it was quite clear.
Next one out behind him was Gunhoo Kim. Again, under rotation on the front up 10 at the end of the run and just lacked the amplitude that we saw from our finalists in Heat 1.
Yeah. And in Heat 2, just out was David Habelsel from Switzerland. Another one of the Swiss riders coming back off injury. It was good to see him put down a run. I think it was his grab duration and amplitude that kept him out of the final. So he was linking some good combos all week, but I think just taking it that little bit easy, and as a result wasn't up there in amplitude.
Wasn't at the +4 on the Gaz scale.
No, certainly not. And then next above him was Levko Fedovic, who was looking all good all week. Like, he was just lacing runs in training, and he had a filmer with him, and he just kept putting down run after run after run, and was definitely standing out as one to watch in the days leading into qualies.
Yeah, seemed to be super consistent all the way through training. I mean, kind of a shame he missed out. We saw his brother in the Steamboat Big Era the week before.
Unfortunately, with Levko, it came down to execution. He missed a grab on his back 9, and on his back 10, Stale had a little bit. It looked, on the angle that the judges had, it looked a bit more like binding than Stale on that one. So they had him down as a missed grab and a no grab and a missed grab. Yeah, and that was what kept him just out of the bubble on that for qualifications. And then just in above him was Jake Pates, who had an amazingly technical run. Or talking to the crew on that panel, they would have had him between first to third in that heat. He had the difficulty, the variety, the amplitude. He just had a bad landing with a hand touch and an edge on the front double 12. So once they deducted sort of those points, he ended up down around the bubble. So that was a top run with an executional flaw that ended up down in the bottom place. So that's how that cut worked out.
Yeah, that was super cool to see Jake Pates back into a finals, which takes us into finals, I guess. So weather update for finals. Seems we missed it from the women's finals. A little bit windy, seemed a little bit gusty. Didn't seem to be the kind of gusty windiness that affects the riding. We went for some laps before finals, and further up the mountain, you could definitely feel it. The chairs getting put on hold a little bit. But where the halfpipe sits kind of down in the village, it does seem to be a little bit more sheltered.
Yeah, the banners were blowing, but I don't think it was affecting the riders too much. I think the conditions were definitely worse in qualifications. It was good to have nice conditions for the finals. Good viz, no fog, and yeah, the wind was there, but it wasn't affecting them.
And we had snow, not the night before finals, the night before that, and that seemed to have been running quite nicely. Because when we went riding the day before, that fresh snow just was a bit sketchy.
Yeah. Speaking to one of the wax techs last night, he said it definitely rode in way better. It's just the 2 days of that snow blending, it was much better conditions for them as techs to prep for. So in fifth place for that one was American Chase Blackwell. It's a good result for him. Was very close to fourth place. He had good amp, but some knee grabs on his last 2 hits, which were cab dub 10 into front dub 12. So.
Yeah. Started off really nicely, switchback 7 Japan, which is pretty cool. So had all 4 directions, because then he goes back 9 with the nose, good solid grab, front double 10 truck. And then, it was just noticeable knee grabs on those last 2. And if it's noticeable, it means it's helping the trick quite a lot.
Totally. And yeah, like I said, it was just the difficulty lacking slightly on that one. He had a 7-9 combo at the start compared to a 12-10 combo, opening combo of Tsuchiru, who was our 4th place rider, Tsuchiru Shigenu from Japan.
Yeah, so the back double 12 stale to start with, front double 10, cab double 10, front double 14, tail, then switchback double roadie 7 tail. Like, again, had 3.5 directions, because the switchback was the alley-oop kind of one, so it's still toe-sidey takeoff.
Yeah.
Super short grab on that one, that it's just, he gets the tail right at the start. It looks like a really fun trick. We've seen him do the singles in training, and it just looks super playful and enjoyable. But yeah, just wasn't executed well enough to be rewarded up there. And he let the tail go on the front double 14 a little bit early as well.
Yeah, and a little low in the middle there with the 10s. 10 to 10 combo was quite low. Like, the amplitude just dropped a little bit too. So
yeah,
with a little loss of amplitude, a couple of tail touches, that was enough of a couple of little instabilities to put him off the podium.
Yeah, and I think it was that edge change coming out of the back double 12, kind of almost just wobbled a bit, and then that just lost a lot of the speed into the 10-10s, as you say.
It takes us to third.
Which was Valentino Gazzelli, which great to see Val back, because Val's first World Cup halfpipe back since injury, so cool to see him riding again. Had started off alley-oop back 3 nose, then did cab double 10, front 12 tail to melon, and then back double 12, and then front 14 tail. Kind of my notes on Val's run was like amplitude was pretty good. It's very Valentino.
Yeah, he definitely drifted down the pipe quite a lot on that first alley-oop 3. When we looked at the other angle, it was huge with some good travel and looked really nice.
Yeah. Execution-wise was pretty solid on all the grabs. I rewarded the grab change in the front 12 because tail to melon's such a weird grab combo to do.
That's difficult, yeah. And it wasn't, again, when we talk double grabs, I guess he had a 7 tail into a 3 melon. So there was enough duration there to reward the double. Like the difficulty was there and the duration of the grab was there too.
Yeah. And I was like, when we talking double grabs, I'm always like, is it a double grab that adds value to the trick or does it make the trick easy? And this one definitely added value and a bit of spice in there. What Val was kind of lacking to go up into the first 2 spots was kind of variety. Had 3 directions, had the alley-oop, so yeah, 3.5 directions, but then the front 12 tail to melon, the front 14 tail, it's very similar grabs, if not the same grab for the most part of it. Very similar axis all the way through. And with those repeated front side tricks or cab tricks, the variety, we have to look at a different axis change or grab change sort of thing. And this one where that was just lacking. Still had the technical difficulty and the amplitude to kind of keep him up and the execution. So still had a lot of criteria that were in his favor.
Yeah, so it was like you said, variety was definitely down with the repeated trick without changing the axis on the 12 and the 14. And compared to Shichiro, who just seemed to have something little on every hit, I think that was the deciding factor between 3rd and 4th there.
Yeah. So
which takes us up. There was a bit of a jump up from those 2 in 3rd and 4th up to our 2nd place.
Yuto Totsuka.
Second for the 2nd week in a row.
Yeah.
No stranger to the podium. He's had plenty of them, and he was exciting in this one, wasn't he?
Yeah, lost out to another teammate, a different teammate to the one he lost out to last week, but really cool. Talk me through his run.
Started off with a switchback alley-oop roadie 5 into a switchback dub 10 mute, back double 12 mute, front double 14 indie into a cab 10 truck. And that was a great run, got the score he needed, and he was very lucky not to put down his 2nd run, which was an absolute heater. He upped the switchback alley-oop to a switchback double roadie 9 on the first hit, into a switch dub 10 mute, back dub 12, and then he went to go front triple and crashed out. The excitement just built the whole way down that run.
Yeah, that started off beautiful. Very aesthetic first trick. Added a lot of difficulty because we've seen a lot of alley-oop rodeos kind of end of the run sort of thing when you don't have to worry about the next hit. We've started to see them a little bit from Cam Melv Live's mid-run last season, and then doing it first hit, especially with the double and that higher rotation, to then continue out of that to go switchback double 10, which is one of the more difficult technical tricks in the pipe, and then back double 12. It's a serious combo to start. Honestly, probably didn't need to go front triple. Could have just gone, if he'd finished the 2nd run the way he finished the first run, it'd have been in the clear.
Well, I think he wanted the exclamation point. I think if he was going front triple into a cab 10, he would have got the win on that one. And I think he was going for the win. He sort of upped every little part of it. Like the 10 and the 12 were a decent enough combo in the middle there, but to up the switchback alley-oop to a double and then to up the front dub 14 into a triple, he left nothing open to chance. Had he stomped that last one, that would have been a first place run, I think.
Yeah, midway through, I'd already actually typed in my keypad 99. He was the last rider to drop of the day, so kind of knew exactly what he needed to do. Well, he was in second. He was in first place after run 1, and then his teammate bumped him down into second place in the start of run 2, so he kind of knew he had to do something, was guaranteed the podium. Question for you as a head judge, because we work on a scale of 0 to 100. There's very few situations where we can give 100. If he'd have laced that run altogether, would you have been happy with the crew going 100, or are you a non-100 guy?
No, 100 guy. So that's the perfect situation to give 100. And we just spoke about the impact that run had on us as he upped every single trick down the pipe. He's the last rider to drop. For me, the 100's not about doing a perfect run. It's the best run on that day. He would have won that comp emphatically, I think. For me, had he laced that triple and then gone into a cab triple and put back-to-back triples down in the run, started like that, the way he upped every single trick, if the crew wanted to go 100, for sure, it's a talking point. It puts more eyes on snowboarding. It's one of those things. For me, it's not about a technically perfect 100 run. It's the best run on that day. And had he put a run like that down, he could have gone 100.
Yeah, because we've seen when Sean's picked up 100 or Chloe's picked up 100, the mainstream media outside of your various snowboard mags and online sites, etc., the mainstream media picks it up. So more eyes on the sport. So it would have been a good opportunity. And then we could have talked about it in the pod. But sadly, he didn't manage to put the triple down and finished in second place. But that's definitely my notable moment from finals was that first hit. Just was outstandingly well executed.
Totally. And that left first place to Rusei Yamada, who scored a 94.5. It was his first ever World Cup win. Started off with his signature double McTwist Japan, into a switch Mickey Japan, into cab dub 14, front dub 14, switchback double alley rodeo 9. So yeah, good trick combination, good variety, all 5 directions because he had the switch backside, and then his alley-oop was also switch backside too. So it's slightly on the higher end of the difficulty. I mean, I guess it's only a switch McTwist, but yeah, technically 2 sort of switch backsides in there. The amp was there, the progression was there, with the double McTwist 10, which no one else is really doing.
And the way he tweaks the double McTwist 10 is pretty legit. It's very well executed, full extension, great amplitude. That was a +5 on the gas scale. The switch McTwist was at a +4. And then, back-to-back 14s in the run as well, which still holds a lot of weight.
And difficulty. So it ticked all the criteria. Execution was there. It was a really good run, and he's sort of come up.
Yeah. First World Cup win probably makes the selection for the Japanese team even more difficult, I think, given the top 6 riders that the Japanese team have got floating around those halfpipe finals. Good luck if you are on the selection committee for Japan.
Totally. And it's one of those ones for over half a decade, there's only been 3 riders on the podium. It's Ayumu, Yuto, and Ruka claiming wins, but now Ruse's stepped up to that plate too, and now we've got a 4th. So maybe that's your Japan team right there. We'll see what Shichiro has to say about that in the next couple of events.
Shichiro is definitely chomping on the heels a little bit. If he tidied a few more bits up, as we talked about, then he's obviously in contention as well. So, yeah, tough time to be a Japanese halfpipe rider if you want to spot at the Olympics.
Totally.
Cool.
And that was a great victory by Ruse, I think. Well earned, and we've spoken about his variety, and he has a number of unique tricks, and he, interestingly enough, he almost missed the finals because he repeated a cab, did sort of 2 cab 1080s, like a slightly different axis, but 2 cab 1080s in a run. And this is a rider who's got more variety than probably anyone else there, which he's just shown. Yeah, after almost missing finals, to come out and just blast everyone away like that, it was good to see.
Yeah, because if we'd stuck with the original format and he'd stuck with his original qualies runs, then we wouldn't have seen him in finals because he'd been outside that top 5. But fortunately, the right format came through for finals. So it was very cool to see a new halfpipe World Cup winner.
Totally. That's pretty much it from Copper.
Yeah, nothing other major to talk about, I don't think. It was a pretty good contest. That takes us to the end of our America stint at the pre-Christmas tour, Steamboat Big Air, Copper Halfpipe, 2 great events, and just big shout out to Nick and Aaron and the US organizing committees for putting on good shows and looking after us and treating us really nicely.
Yeah, it was a great event. And next stop's Calgary. It's been a little bit of a warm start to the season up there, but they're just starting to put the finishing touches on their pipe. There's a lot of snow being made in the last 2 days, and just starting to see some photos. It looks like that pipe's starting to look good. So
yeah, I think the west wall's done, so now it's onto the other wall. So excited. Get 5 days off, and I'll be back in Calgary for New Year's for the next one, which will be really exciting. And then we're into Aspen, Larks, and then the Olympics, in theory. So that takes us to, obviously, the end of this episode, the end of this kind of section of the tour before we get to Christmas. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on Amazon, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a follow on Instagram @OnTheKnuckle. Obviously, still buy us a coffee if you'd like to, but buy us a coffee.com/OnTheKnuckle. We're very grateful for any support from the pod. Other than that, we'll take a little break over the Christmas period, try and enjoy some downtime. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy festivities wherever you are in the world. Enjoy celebrating with the fam, etc., etc. Cool. Any final words?
I'll catch you next year.
Catch you next year. That is, there we go. Yeah.
On the final run into the Olympics.
Next year, 2026. All my days. Cool. See you next time.
Ciao.
For now.